Dubnation, how we feeling? How we doing? Golden State Warriors fans, come one, come all to C-Train Station to talk some basketball. Hey, let's just talk. Okay, let's get to it, right? Well, of course, welcome to those new. Welcome to C-Train Station. Welcome back to those subscribers, and thank you so much for those who subscribe, who comment, who contribute. Thank you so much. Let's not dilly-dally around, though, right? Let's get to the Golden State Warriors news and notes. So Stephen Curry, he continues to be out with runner's knee. It's kind of like how I thought it would be, though. It seems as though the Warriors are more or less saving Stephen Curry for any type of postseason. So whether it's play-in or playoffs, or like when it comes down to when it gets down there to the wire, maybe they'll try and ramp Steph up and do that. But there's talk. There are rumors of, or there are just questions like, could the Warriors just sort of shelf Stephen Curry, right? Should he just be done for the rest of the season to get that knee correct, to get that knee right? I don't think that that's how Steph Curry rolls, just to let you know. So I do think that we will see a ramp up, and we'll at least see an attempt to come back from Stephen Curry this season. I don't know how it's going to be. But while we're while we're in Rome, while we're in the Stephen Curry win in Rome, right? Hey, I have to do this. And I don't know, nobody else has done it. And I'm going to do it. And I believe wholeheartedly that I'm onto something. But just hear me out at least. The shoe rant. The only thing, something that we know positively, 1,000,000%, that has changed markedly this season with Steph Curry is that he has gone on the sneaker tour. So not only has he worn like really famous, because he's not under contract with Under Armour anymore, so he's worn famous Nike shoes, Anta shoes. He's wearing different shoes to the game, and also he's wearing different shoes every single game. Completely different brand, different mark, completely different style shoe. I mean, they're all basketball shoes, but different styled basketball shoes. Okay. Can you say, and I tried to ask the Twitter doctors out there, no response, that's fine, whatever, but it's like, can you say, think about it, can you say with beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Steph Curry's knee issues have nothing to do with the fact that he literally is wearing completely different shoes at different brands every single game. And this is the only season that he has done that. He has been with the Curry brand for all the years before this, right? This is the only season. I contend absolutely that Stephen Curry's shoe tour is having an effect on his knees, is taking the toll. Look, am I saying that is directly causing his runner's knee? No, I'm not. But am I saying that the fact that Stephen Curry literally wears so many different shoes that it's ridiculous, okay? Regardless of whether he wears orthotics, so those are the same insoles in every shoe. So he could take out his orthotics, take out one insole, and put it into the insole of another shoe. It doesn't matter. He's still playing in a whole different construct of shoe. That absolutely matters. Can we think? Let's creatively think about this, right? Can we think of any other basketball player in the NBA who has chronic knee problems, who some people would correlate or say, hey, you know what? I actually think that maybe his shoe choice had a little bit to do with his knee problems. His shoe choice had to do with his knee problems, okay? That is Lonzo Ball 101, tried and true, right? Is it not? People have said that Lonzo Ball, the fact that his baller brand shoes weren't the best quality helped. They added to his knee issues. They helped contribute to those knee issues. So that happened with Lonzo Ball. a basketball player wearing shoddy shoes leading to knee injuries, right? But it's not going to happen with Steph. Dude, it makes me crazy that it's like nobody has said anything. Nobody's thought of this. Because of course it's true. Like, of course it is grounded in reality. Like, one should, I get it. Like, Shaq, I believe, and Michael Jordan would switch shoes, famously at halftime. But it's definitely not the same. They were all wearing the same brand of shoes generally, right? Like, seriously, Shaq was wearing Reebok. Michael Jordan was wearing Nikes or Jordans. And so, like, it is different. Stephen Curry is stepping into different shoes all the time. And he's playing competitive basketball in them, right? Like, I truly believe that these are not the sole cause, but are exacerbating his knee issues. And I strongly suggest that he get consistent footwear. Like the shoe tour needs to end. I actually think that this is contributing. And while we're at it, because I'm going to get nitpicky, honestly, right now, because maybe I'm in a nitpicky mood, because maybe it's like the Warriors are not doing the best right now, but it's fine. As I nitpick real quick, Stephen Curry heads the ball. He heads the ball, a basketball, pregame. Like he heads it like a soccer header. He needs to lean he needs to put chest back a little bit and tuck his chin in a little bit to control his headers. And this is what I mean. All I'm saying is this. I know this is crazy, but whatever, okay? Like, I was a soccer coach for how many years? I don't even know. I trained basketball for how many years? I have seen like 2 or 3 pinched nerves from people bouncing basketballs on the top, not on the correct part of their head, from having improper heading technique. And I know that sounds super weird, but when Stephen Curry heads a basketball pre-game, he always does, he does a little thing. I get it. He's a pro athlete and stuff like that. But I'll tell you this. I have literally seen athletes that were very good athletes pinch nerves in their necks because they incorrectly headed basketballs, which honestly shouldn't be headball. They shouldn't be headed because they're a little bit too heavy, a little bit too big. I'm only so like, look, I get it. C-Train's been on a rant. What's he talking about? The things that I'm talking about have precedent. Steph, his injured knee, I correlate with the shoe thing because he's literally on a shoe tour. It's not like he's not on a shoe tour. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if Stephen Curry, if everything just came out of nowhere and didn't correlate with something like maybe having different footwear for every freaking game, I wouldn't do that. It's fine. I get that he won't pinch a nerve probably in his neck. However, I will tell you this. If he continues to head a basketball just straight on top of his head, I guarantee that it will start to degenerate like nerves. It won't degenerate nerves, but it'll start to pinch. It'll pinch things. Learn proper heading technique. That's it. I'm done with that. It's tough because it actually triggers me that he has poor heading technique. I mean, I've coached through college in soccer, right? Played through one semi-professional game. So it's like, I get how to head a ball. I've taught hundreds, if not thousands of people how to correctly do it. He doesn't do it correctly. Gui Santos, somebody get in there. Show the man how to correctly head a ball. Gui Santos, you head it correctly while you're at it too. He does it better. We're done now. We're done. Speaking of Gui Santos, congratulations on your 3-year, $15 million extension. A total steal for the Warriors, and I love it. And I do have to say this. The Warriors they are winning more than they're losing when they play a 5-out offense without Draymond Green. And as Gui Santos has signed this extension, this contract extension, I hope that Coach Kerr, that Draymond, that Gui, that everybody is honest with the appraisal of how the players are playing in the system right now. Because I'm saying this, where am I going with this? Where's the situation? Maybe Gui Santos needs to start over Draymond Green, and I'm not even kidding. Look at his small sample size of starting. Look at what Gui Santos contributes, and I understand. The Warriors will always sort of be down rebounding if they're going to start a power forward of Gui Santos or Draymond Green, right? However, their offense is really unlocked when a player like Gui Santos plays the 4 with a dynamic shooter like Al Horford at the 5 or Kristaps, but it's like the dude, he hasn't played. So we love the extension for Gui Santos, and we have to give credit where credit's due for GM Mike Dunleavy Jr., because maybe I'm going to take some credit away here soon. Kristaps Porzingis has now been out for 6-7 straight games. Who knows? The Warriors, in my opinion, with this Kristaps Porzingis, as my voice cracks, in my opinion, with this Kristaps Porzingis trade, I believe the Warriors essentially did the one thing that they couldn't do. Like, they needed to get a player that could play the game of basketball, like, and was available. Kristaps Porzingis can play the game of basketball. He's not available. The man is not available. Like, and I've said this multiple times. I think I did this with the trade review as well of the Kristaps Porzingis and Kuminga trade. It's like that Kristaps Porzingis, how he is right now, like I believe he's got POTS. I believe that I think he said that he had that. It was like a chronic fatigue. It's an illness. He's not playing. He's played around 50% of the games, I think, for the past few seasons. So Kristaps Porzingis is like a really good player on a great to amazing team. And if he's not on a great to amazing team, he doesn't have nearly as much value because he can't play. He's not available. So it's like, to a team like the Celtics, who are habitually really good with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown right now, right? To a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are really good, or like the Spurs, right? If he can be an additive, Kristaps Porzingis, to where he is like the cherry on top, the novelty, a player who plays 20 minutes, 50% of the time, at 75% capacity, he could be good on a really winning team. Sure, not on this Golden State Warriors team. He's not. He is not a good fit for a team that needs more, right? He is a good fit if everything had worked out perfectly for the Warriors this season, no injuries whatsoever, and then you traded for Kristaps Porzingis, and also he was on the healthier side, going to play 50% or more of the future games from here on out. So you got Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry, Kristaps, and Draymond Green. They're all healthy. Okay, yeah, maybe. Maybe he gives the Warriors that edge in a playoff series where, like, if he can play, right? But the dude can't play. He isn't playing. That was the only thing. I talked on Sam Orlick's amazing podcast, the Sports Ethos Sam Orlick's podcast. Maybe I'll leave a link. Just look. It's all on the Twitter. Follow Sam. We talked about that trade. We're like, dude, Kuminga just needs to be traded for a capable basketball player who's available. And it is really sad. It's really sad, in my opinion, where like Jeremy Grant is a better deal because the man can consistently get out there right now. And he's not even a good player. Like, I don't even like his fit with the Warriors. Don't even think he's a great player. He's a decent player. But it doesn't, like, what does it matter if you can't play? That is where shame on the Warriors. Shame on the Warriors and Mike Dunleavy Jr., Joe Lacob, for not understanding what they were getting with Kristaps, or with the unavailability, or shame on them for knowing what they were getting with Kristaps, right? With this unavailability, you can't do it. If Kristaps can't play, I'll look to this trade, the Jordan Poole to Chris Paul to nothing trade, right? As the moves that really broke the Warriors dynasty, okay? That really took them and depreciated their value to where Stephen Curry, not even the mighty GOAT, Stephen Curry, GOAT 30, could save them, right? Because it's like punting Jordan Poole for nothing, punting Jonathan Kuminga for nothing it's not an option, and they did it. So, like, because they did it, or I guess it was an option, because they're essentially doing it. So the Warriors need to figure out, and some people who are going to dig deep are going to be like, okay, well, the fact that the Warriors did get rid of Jonathan Kuminga means that they can probably re-sign DeAnthony Melton now. But it's like, we have to dig that deep to find any sort of silver lining? I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Now, The upside to this is that I think, is that bottom line, this team was doing decent. They were doing well when they had Jimmy Butler. Jimmy was healthy this season, okay? They were doing well, and Jimmy got injured. So the upside is that this is healthy, knock on wood, a decent team that has a chance to compete, probably not contend, but at least compete, right? The reality, though, Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy Butler, from here on out, they will be injured because older players are injured more often, right? So now, with the Warriors' knowledge of that, what are they going to do about that? The only silver lining, like the whole thing, is that the fact that the Warriors were able to get Jimmy Butler and they were doing decent just a few months ago, that's a silver lining. That is something that I think that Dubnation Warriors fans can really hold on to, because it's the opportunity is nigh, right, to be negative about the Warriors. They've lost a few games. They're not looking up. I mean, like, Nate Williams, we're having Nate Williams stories now? Got it. Where is he before this season? Okay, I like stories, but, like, not when we're losing. So, but the fact that Mike Dunleavy Jr. did get, so Jimmy Butler did have to essentially ask his way onto the Warriors, but the Warriors traded for Jimmy. They've been active, so it's like I don't think that the Warriors are actively trying to lose. That's like the only consolation that I could take. Even though sometimes if Kristaps turns into nothing, and also Jordan Poole turned into Chris Paul, which turned into nothing, that's like a huge issue, right? And it's like, I get it, but here's the thing. Here's my question to Dub Nation is like, if the headline from last night and last night's game was this loss, if the headlines from last night's loss to interdivision rival the Clippers that they needed to win was that Nate Williams fears no man. He fears no man and isn't afraid of Kawhi Leonard. The Nate Williams that lost, that got like thrashed by the Clippers when they really needed the win. And now it's like okay, do we want that narrative? Is that the narrative that we're looking for? I do not. That's a losing narrative, just to let everybody know. And I definitely don't like it. It's difficult. It's difficult to take a beginning season of like Stephen Curry. Was he coming off the Olympics this season? With Stephen Curry dominating, just being him, right? Being the GOAT, having Jimmy Butler, and then fast forward a few months and it's like we're talking about like Nate Williams in a loss. Got it. Okay. Okay. Hey, we're going to talk about the future real quick because I gave you, I'm looking at draft prospects. We love it because it's like the Warriors are borderline. They're looking at anywhere from like 12 to 18 drafting overall. And I got a name for you. This is a name that when Mike Dunleavy Jr., Warriors GM, should have been lobbying for Giannis at the trade deadline. He was actually like in New Zealand, Australia. He was scouting Dash Daniels and also this player who I really have on my Warriors radar, a player who I think would thrive with the Warriors. He's entering the draft this next year. This draft. Forward Kareem Lopez. Yes, forward Kareem Lopez. I think that the Warriors sort of I think that he's in their targets, right? I think that they're looking at him for sure, that they're targeting him, and for good reason. Kareem Lopez is only 18 years old, right? So he's so young. He's playing professionally, though, in Australia, New Zealand. So he's playing professionally, playing really well over there. Not good. He's playing well. He's doing really well, especially for, he's a rugged forward who has point forward capabilities. So he's got he will remind you of Gui Santos a little bit, the way that he plays, which isn't a bad thing because he's like Gui Santos with more measurables, with like almost all the measurables. So he's like 6'8", or 6'8", 6'9", 215, 220, but he's got like a 7'1", 7'2" wingspan. Huge hands. What do those hands and his frame allow him to do? It's hard to take him off the ball. So when he has control of the ball, Kareem Lopez, he has strong control. It's hard to take him off the ball. It's hard to take the ball away from him. Like a player, like Kawhi Leonard, like a rugged forward, like Franz Wagner. He's in that type of vein. Now, I don't think he'll ever, Franz Wagner, Kawhi Leonard, I overhyped it. If we're looking for a comparison for Kareem Lopez, a player with some upside, with that athletic ability, rugged forward who can play some point forward as well, Kareem Lopez reminds me of Aaron Gordon. Yes, of Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets. Would we want an Aaron Gordon on this team? Absolutely. An Aaron Gordon type player, if he were on the Warriors right now, would help the Warriors compete, but maybe for a title, right? If they were all completely healthy, right? I mean, honestly, right? If you had an Aaron Gordon, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green as like a 3-4-5. So when we're prospecting, like Kareem Lopez, I believe could play decent minutes right now, and he wouldn't be a drop-off, but he's got great upside. So the ceiling is huge, and the floor is still pretty high. So he's a really decent player. I hope that you watch some highlights of Kareem Lopez, and remember, C-Train brought you there to the highlights, but remember that comp. Remember Aaron Gordon, a really rugged forward with athletic upside. Hey, is there a college player, pro player, semi-pro player? Is there a player you think I should check out and scout and tell the masses about in my next Golden State Warriors news and notes? Write a player below. If you think I should scout a prospective college player, write a semi-pro player who's in the G League overseas, send me a name. I'll scout that player and I'll let you know what I think. So send me a name in the comments. A college player. I talked about Keaton Wagner as well from Illinois. Hey, I'll do you that solid. You do me a solid. You put a name down in the comments. I'll do you the solid. I'll do the legwork and I'll do some scouting work, some legwork. But check out Kareem Lopez. And of course, for your Golden State Warriors content, like, follow, subscribe. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time at C Train Station. Take care. Have a good one.